Welcome back to Now Go See It. It's day 4 of 11 on the Norwegian Dawn off the coast of Africa. Very excited. Today is our first port day and we are headed to Madagascar. I booked a shore excursion through the ship, which is something I don't normally do, but I felt like solo tripping to Africa maybe wasn't the time to explore on my own. So we're going to see how the first port goes and take it from there. We're going on an excursion called Discover the Three Turquoise Bays. So I'm excited to check it all out and excited to bring you all with me. If you like what you see, don't forget to like this video, share it, and don't forget to subscribe.
Tendering to shore took a little bit of patience, but nothing too bad. The ship had multiple tenders running, so the wait wasn't long, and soon enough we were bouncing over the waves toward Antsiranana. Landing at the port was a bit chaotic. People everywhere, some trying to sell souvenirs, others just hanging around watching. No clear signage, but eventually our group found each other, and soon enough our convoy of SUVs pulled up. Drivers were friendly but spoke little English, so communication was mostly through gestures and smiles. Our guide was friendly, but her English skills were limited, so there was seldom any context to what we were seeing during the tour. Riding through town, the roads were uneven, and the traffic was a mix of old cars, motorbikes, tuk-tuks, and people walking. Buildings were colorful but worn down, and the storefronts were small, some just makeshift stalls. We passed a mix of homes, businesses, and kids waving as we drove by. Our first stop was a viewpoint of Sugarloaf Mountain. It's a massive, rounded rock formation jutting up from the water. The view was nice and we snapped a few photos, but it was a quick stop before we were back in the SUVs. The drive continued as we left the city and made our way deeper into the Madagascar countryside. Next stop, the outdoor market. This was a place to buy souvenirs, but the vendors were very aggressive. Popular items for sale included vanilla beans, carved wooden figurines, woven baskets, and lemurs on blankets, shirts, and more. If you like haggling, you'd enjoy it here. If not, you'd probably want to keep moving. Back in the SUVs, and now we're really off-roading. No more pavement, just narrow, bumpy trails cutting through the thick vegetation. The branches slapped against the side of the vehicle as we bounced along, gripping the handles to keep steady. Eventually, we stopped and took a short hike to see a baobab tree. The path was easy, just a few minutes of walking, and then there it was, this massive, ancient-looking tree with a thick trunk and branches that looked like roots reaching toward the sky. They say if you hug the tree and make a wish, it would come true. I wish that you would click the button to subscribe to our channel. After a quick photo, we headed back to the vehicles. The next stop was the famous Kite Flying Beach, known for its strong winds. It's a popular place for locals to fly kites. Sadly, no one was out flying kites during our visit. Then on to the next cove. Here we had the option to swim in the warm ocean water. We had just 30 minutes here, so instead of swimming, I elected to walk along the shore to see some of the small sea caves carved into the limestone rock. The caves were worth checking out for some great photo opportunities, along with a nice beachside walk.
This is Madagascar. Today we explored 3 bays. The first is famous for its pigeons. A colony of pigeons used to live there, but they've flown the coop and no longer live there, but it's still called Pigeon Bay nonetheless. The second is famous for its high winds, where people love to fly kites. So it's known as Kite Beach. Unfortunately, the water there isn't so good for swimming. And the final beach where we are today is where all the swimming is happening. So behind me, you can hop in the water, take a nice dip. There's also a little food stands where people are selling different treats, local tastes. I am taking a little walk around the cove to see what I can see. But Madagascar has been very beautiful. It's a little bit touristy in all the different stops. I think all the people know very well that there's a cruise ship in port and that there's going to be van loads of people coming to buy little things that they probably don't need but want. I bought a little vanilla, so I'm just as bad as everyone else, but can't go to Madagascar without coming back with some Madagascar vanilla.
On the beach, there were stands selling drinks. Local beers, fresh coconuts hacked open with a machete, and a bright red-colored soda caught my attention. The soda was Bonbon Anglais, a popular drink in Madagascar, fruity and sweet. Back in the SUVs, and suddenly there was a problem, a breakdown. One of the vehicles in our convoy wasn't moving, so we had to wait while the drivers worked on it. Eventually, they pushed it out of the one-way dirt road and we were off moving again. We made a quick stop at a hilltop lighthouse and then drove through an old abandoned French military site. The buildings were crumbling, overgrown with plants, but still standing as a reminder of the country's colonial past. The final stop was another beach, where drinks and light snacks were provided. I passed on the food. Let's just say it didn't meet my vacation stomach safety standards. If you travel a lot, there's a book I recommend called How to Shit Around the World. I'll link it on Amazon below. It's a quick guide to food safety around the world. Highly recommended. The drive back to the port was scenic, with wide open landscapes and ocean views. As Sugarloaf Mountain came back into view, I knew that our tour was coming to an end. We arrived back at the port and waited in line to board the tender back onto the ship. Some local music served as our entertainment as we waited. Before I knew it, we were back on board, watching as the ship pulled away from Antsiranana, leaving the bay and heading towards our next destination.
If you like what you've seen and want to learn more about our time in Madagascar or any of the other great ports on this Norwegian cruise on the coast of Africa, don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring that bell for notifications for all the new videos. Thanks for joining us, and visit nowgoseeit.com for more information. And now go see Madagascar.